Hello, Fightful Faithful. Welcome to another episode of the Tuesday NXT Fightful post-show Sour Graps deal. Something about
This is the
NXT
NXT post show for April 18th. The Sour Graps NXT post show where you can get in your super chats, get in your humper chats, subscribe to Fightful Select at FightfulSelect.com. A little bit of news about a certain feller in Spindrift Unity going up about there. Some Becky Lynch contract news, some other contract news going up on Fightful Select. Plenty more contracts to report on. New stuff every day. Jeremy Lambert is now the director of content overall. Things are growing and changing. You're going to get a lot more Bryan Danielson dick headlines. It's going to be great. But subscribe to Fightful Select. Best $5 in the biz. You get Alex and myself every Monday doing a Sour Graps post show just like this, but behind the paywall. Fridays, Alex does his SmackDown review while doing a Rampage watch along, and pay-per-views. You also get me and Alex. So if you like what you see tonight, there's plenty more of it on Fightful Select, as well as plenty of other things, including all of the scoops you could ever want. We got your super chats and your humper chats tonight because we've got a lot of NXT to talk about. Alex, nothing makes sense. Nothing on the show makes sense. There's nothing that makes sense. That could be the whole review.
Alpha Bell send in a something last night as a sour chat. Says trying to think of something to say, please stand by, and that might as well apply to tonight because trying to think of something to say that isn't the same basic ass shit that they have said here on this particular Tuesday night program over and over again for the past year. It's really hard for the writers to come up with something, literally anything to say that moves stories forward or is different than the same stuff that they've had people say for a year now.
For a year, you're lucky if we're not going back to HBK tribute spots. But
at least, yeah.
Okay, I have good news and I have bad news. The bad news is we're back to our NXT doldrums after what was not a terrible week the week before last.
Well,
but the thing is, the week before last, Alex, your mustache was very tiny.
Yeah.
Now your mustache is back to normal, and NXT is back to its normal doldrums. So if you want the show to be watchable, gonna need you to.
No, I'm just gonna sit here and eat my nuts. That's what I'm gonna do.
We're gonna go nuts talking about this show. There's so much that just. It's like they were like, you know what? Brand new show every week. Booker T doesn't know the show he's watching. That's for sure. Today he was like, I love Big E. I was like, didn't you hate the New Day like uncomfortably?
Yeah. It was an uncomfortable amount of hate.
Like for no reason at all. I don't know. Nothing on the show makes sense anymore.
No. Jambeard says this Friday I get one more closer to becoming dust. Not sure to be happy or sad about it. Happy because it'll be one last year, or sad that it's taking so long to get the job done. Your dad, Paul Elizabeth, says happy Tuesday SGS and upcoming birthday to Jambeers. That's nice.
That's nice. I'm sorry it's that was a grim little message.
It was, but you know.
Normally I think our community brings out the best in people, but I don't think NXT brings out the best in people.
Yeah. So Jibber Pringle says Alex the Incredible, Kate the Stunning, Papa Elizabeth the Daddy-O with the mostest, Louise, the Great Bearded One, Alphabet Man, Searchers of Cease, and all you SGS people. This was a show, I guess.
That is, we don't have to do a review. That sums it up perfectly. We can skip right to the jukebox. You can throw some puns in there if you want.
And then Jambeard says, I think Louis Dangoor is trying to give Alex a heart attack from rage with him pitching a Dom versus Roman title match. And then Luis says, that was not Louis. That was Call Me Crazy last night on the Raw post show. Like, I wouldn't, honestly, it would just be a giant waste of time. You know what I mean? Like, a Dom Mysterio versus Roman thing. It's just a giant waste of time.
Oh, I don't. If it was Dangor, he says a bunch of dumb stuff.
No, it's not. It's not Dangor. It was somebody on the post show. Whatever.
No, I mean the whole thing is it's going to be a waste of time until they either run it back with Cody or until they reach 1,000 days and do it at WrestleMania next year.
Apparently, Ali Cease wants nut puns.
Nut puns, Ali Cease.
Ali Cease wants nut
Y'all
puns.
You better land on the appropriate side of the line, okay? I only have one dirty ad read, and I already know what's segueing it tonight because we got a really, really, really dumb promo for Fraud Breaker.
Yeah,
I guess we should start at the beginning of the show.
Yeah. Cam Watson says, I don't get why Marvel don't use the Incredible Hulk for advertising more. He's basically just one big banner. Get it? Happy Tuesday, everyone. Love you guys. Cam
That was
Watson.
more entertaining than anything that happened on the show, unfortunately.
So
Alex Von Wagner and Robert Stone are still together. Roxanne's re-entering the title picture and has anxiety. What are we doing on the show?
Nothing that happened, and everything that is going to happen already happened. But if things didn't happen, then things can't happen a second time. So it's all new to you.
I got a text message from the Ceases that just says Marty John Nutty. You're supposed to chat
Marty Jannutty. Marty Jannutty.
He is a little nutty.
Cashew McIntyre. Okay, so the show, such as it was,
that did happen.
Did
do that.
Hold on, did I hit the wrong thing? Such as it was, the show began with the triple threat. Did I miss something? Because it looks like the title of this episode is this the swan song in NXT for the Dyad? Was there a report saying that if they lose tonight, they're being granted their release, or did that come out? Or
no, just that they requested their release, and if they were going to do business on
like that means anything. Like that means anything. I feel like they're just sticking around because they're a-holes who won't let people leave when they want to leave. I think that's just kind of what it works.
They might not want to let a British tag team go before Wembley.
I mean, that's certainly part of it, specifically, but also globally, just like as a general rule. Oh, you want to leave? No, sorry, you're not allowed to leave. You want to stay? You're fired. That's the way it's worked for many, many years. But the triple threat was decent. Anytime Julius Creed was in there, it was awesome.
Dude.
And everything came down to the end, which was booked like crap.
The ending was booked poorly. The rest of this match was real good.
The rest of the match was really good, and here's the thing. Hey guys, lay out a great match. Practice it all week in the PC. You got all your spots down? Great. And then you will never convince me this is not how it works. Oh, you've been practicing this great match? It looks great. Kudos, boys. All right, here we go. I walk in during the day on Tuesday and say, here's the crazy piece of shit booking we have for you for the end of this match. It's going to make no sense. You fit it in. Because that's the way it feels. Every time these guys go out there and do something great, and then the booking is like, what? It feels like they've been rehearsing this great match for hours and hours. And then like at the very end, like, oh yeah, we need James Drake, or whatever his fake name is, to fall off the top rope and graze the leg of Ivy Nile. After that happens, the Creeds are going to do a doomsday device to one of their opponents. And then the guy who is not legal is going to roll out of the ring and check on Ivy Nile. And the guy who is legal is going to stand there in the ring like, what happened? And then he's going to take a finisher and he's going to lose. So
your dumb legal competitor voice, uncanny.
I mean,
what happened?
Brutus is the legal guy. He could just roll over and pin the dude they did the doomsday device to. But he's so concerned about where Julius went. Julius is like, hey, you got this, right? Because you're the legal dude. So you can pin him after we did our amazing big time tag team finishing maneuver. I'm going to go check on Ivy, who, lest we forget, got her leg grazed. They showed the replay, and James Drake fell off the top rope all the way to the floor, and then did this to her leg with his hand.
Okay, you forget that she's a delicate little lady.
Yeah, I forgot.
A hand graze can cause one to faint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Really poorly booked ending. Right decision from the perspective of who won.
Sure.
But my net of this is all these three teams are really good. What the hell is Julius Creed not doing on the main roster managed by Paul Heyman and being hot shotted to the title? You get a back suplex. You get a back suplex. Back suplexes for everyone. Basically Oprah. He does not love bread the way Oprah does. Look at how shredded he is. It's just, I would have a little easier go of it. Not a much easier go of it, but a little bit of a go of it if I was like, all right, the stories aren't great, but this is developmental. And look at the way they're moving people up to the main roster. But Alex, they don't move people up to the main roster. They turn them heel and have them call people in Florida a bunch of clowns. Instead of calling them up to the main roster. So I don't understand what the value of what I'm watching is, because it doesn't seem like they're doing anything with the people that have come this far. Because Alex, you and I are harsh critics, and we used to call them lumbering sacks of flour and Caucasians of pain, all these names. But then it turned out to be really damn good. And we are the harshest of critics.
Or harshest.
Ergo, if we learned their names and are impressed, move them up. Julius especially, and Brutus when they're not making him look like a dumbass in the middle of the ring, is also very good. But man, oh man.
Yep.
This is just like the Julius Creed show whenever he's in the ring.
He's really, really good.
They are certifiably nuts not to call him up.
That's weird. I don't get it. JW Pringle says CM Pistachio. Ricardo El Comerciante de Pepsi says Nut Bagwell's face planters. Chi-Town Spurs says Macadamian Priest, which I really, really like a lot.
That's really, really, really good.
Meat Enormous says Dominut and Ray Pistachio.
Booyaka!
Booyaka, booyaka. Chris Pereira says Cashew Wheeler. Tom LaValle also says Cashew Wheeler, but also says Dax Harwalnuts. Harwalnuts.
Top nuts out.
Alpha Bill says Grayson Walnuts.
That's very good.
Insert clever Tegan Nuxpon that says Pecan Knox.
I thought you were just gonna go with Tegan Nuts, so that's pretty good.
Tegan Nuts is good, but Pecan Knox is really good. Jambeard says Joey Januda versus Ray Mustachio. I like just calling Mustachio. It's very funny.
That's pretty good.
CO says Mr. Peanut, Kurt Hazelnut. CO says Athenut. That's from MD Cyclo, but CO sent it in. Jambeard says the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal Sabanut. Shytown Spurs says evil Macaruno. Meet Norma says, what's the main event from Macadamia Backlash? Jambeard says, Pretty Peanut Avalon, the ring general Walnut.
Pretty Peanut Avalon.
And Ali C suggested it, but it was sent in by Ricardo. Cocoa Nut Beware. And Keith Lee Nut. It's from Henry the Casey.
Is a Lee Nut a thing?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
I'm just gonna say this. I'm gonna just throw in the word
Blackpool Coconut Club is really funny.
But a coconut's not a nut. It's just
I don't care. It is for yeah.
Wait, is a coconut a nut?
I don't know. I mean, it grows on a tree.
And
I think it's got fruit on the inside. I'm not sure.
That's what I thought.
Jagger Reed is James Drake's fake name.
All right. Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed.
Nathan Frazier has a talk show.
It's called Bob's Your Uncle. I don't care what they call it on the show.
It should be called. It's a lot better than Nathan Frazier's hard-hitting home truths. What's a home truth?
Alex, why does everybody who's just good at wrestling have to become such a fucking dork?
I don't know. Like,
hey kid, that guy's awesome. Give him a lucha mask and have his whole thing be about his goofy lucha persona getting in the way.
He's got a talk show when he sits in front of a green screen. He drinks a very big cup of coffee, and he doesn't ever say Bob's your uncle.
So it's right out of the gate, it's a failure. Because if you're not saying Bob's your uncle, what are
I don't even know what the.
This feels like a poor man's QTV. I hate to say it.
I don't know. It's just.
I guess more news.
I don't know.
You got Stevie Turner and her super chat gimmick. All right. You got QTV happening on AEW, parroting all of us dirt sheet kids. Now you got a news show. Lay off the media, man.
Okay, it's a British saying for being honest, hard-hitting home truths. I know what a hard-hitting truth is. I know when a truth hits too close to home. I've never heard of a home truth. But maybe that's because I'm not... Truth. I mean, perhaps. Like, Shytown Spurs saying it's a shot at John Oliver. Then he should take 25 minutes to describe, with comedy, one of the worst things that's happening in the world. That's what would be a shot at John Oliver. Here's what he should do. He should take 25 minutes to talk about the booking in NXT. That's what he should do, and give very specific examples. But he's not.
I have an idea. He should wrestle matches. He should wrestle matches. Really good wrestler, and not everyone needs to have a talk show or a dumb gimmick.
Yeah, Orion Ben says Alex finally infected Nathan Frazier. Good God! Don't blame this on me. I want him to be out there saying Bob's your uncle and doing flips. That's all I want.
The fact you never said Bob's your uncle,
I mean,
these guys couldn't manage a target.
Yeah. Anyway, Chris Barrera says tonight's show felt like it was 3 hours, and Tom LaValle says, "Isn't most of WWE booking a waste of time?" Well, yes, but specifically tonight, yes.
Yeah, but there's a waste of time when it's like the story doesn't make sense, and then there's a waste of time of, hey, we've specifically put a stipulation on something for that stipulation to just not be a thing. Like, that's a new and different one.
Yeah, that's true. Noam Dar
rules.
He does rule.
All I can think of is Alicia Fox.
He's great. He's a great wrestler. I do appreciate that he went to the salon and got the double French braids, so he looks like Cammy, who is the hardest hitting girl on the field hockey team. Like it is a fantastic hairstyle. You don't see very often in men, but why not? It keeps the hairs from getting in your face. It's a very practical hairdo. A lot of men in wrestling have long hair. And I would say some nice French braids, I think, would go a long way to some practicality, because otherwise, I'm not sure.
Otherwise, God bless him. Love Orange Cassidy, always fixing his hair as much as I'm fixing my bangs on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just gotta have it up and out of the way.
Almond Pulowski. That's good.
Everything's nuts.
Miles Bourne is very good. I don't know if he's related to Jason Bourne. Or Evan.
Well,
Bourne.
yeah, of course he is. Their last name is Bourne.
But I appreciate that they gave Noam Dar a tune-up match where it wasn't just a straight-up squash.
Against like Miles Bourne is good.
Yeah, Miles Bourne is good, and he's going to get better, and we're going to look back at this in a year and be like, that's kind of cool that he had that Noam Dar's first match was against Miles Bourne. Noam Dar's finisher is a running enziguri, and I feel like like if he's going to have a match with Axiom, it's going to be running enziguri versus running single leg dropkick, and I feel like there's got to be a little bit more. It's a really cool looking enziguri. But I think there's, especially because they don't have a lot of guys who do this in NXT. A little submission maneuver. Figure out something that's finishing a submission maneuver for Noam Dar, because he's a really great technical wrestler, and because it would make him stand out. I feel like the only guys who are doing submission finishers are
Charlie Dempsey. Will have some.
Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak. Like they're the only guys who are doing that, and he doesn't feel like he fits in with them, so he'll stand out for other reasons. But I feel like, yeah.
What was the thing AJ Lee did that she called the Black Widow? I'm waiting for a dude of like Noam Dar's stature to use it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we don't see that enough.
Mm-hmm.
It was really cool.
Akira Tozawa will whip out like the octopus type of stretch thing like that.
Yeah,
but not
even like hers, but the one that goes like, I can't demonstrate it, but like goes around.
Yeah, he used to do a knee bar. That was his finisher. He did a really great looking, brutal looking knee bar where he would just crank back on the knee and then force it, hyper extend it. That was some good stuff. Luis says he wants to bring back the Fisherman's Buster, the knee bar. The knee, I'm telling you, man, that knee bar.
That was really good.
That would make him stand out in this field in NXT for sure.
Oh yeah, people are pointing out that Zack Sabre Jr., who I got to see twice this weekend, uses it. Mm-hmm. He does really well.
Yes, he does. One of my favorite matches ever under the umbrella of WWE was the semifinals, third round match. Not really sure. In the Cruiserweight Classic between Zack Sabre Jr. and Noam Dar, where Noam Dar had been just destroying Zack Sabre Jr.'s arms through the entire match. And he locked in the Rings of Saturn on Noam Dar with his legs, which sounds like it's not possible. But when it's one of the best like in story, in the ring, like reasons why this had to happen, finishing moments of any match I've ever seen. I love Zack Sabre Jr. and
I just keep talking about him because I got to see him twice this weekend. He's so much better than just him calling people dickheads, locking in awesome finishers and really creative offenses. It's just fun. It's just a good time.
Quarterfinals, Noam versus Sabre Jr. Yes, it was. It did hump. It was.
That's insane. Very, very that was a quarterfinals match. Get out of town and take a bus. Yeah. Hop on the Greyhound.
Yeah.
You're over.
That was the quarterfinals match. The round before I think, was Zack Sabre Jr. versus Drew Gulak, which was
Yes.
awesome because it was two masters of technical mat wrestling that wrestled completely different. That match was bomb. That was so good. And it was Metalik versus Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. was supposed to be in the finals, but he was like, "Oh no, I'm not signing here. What are you talking about?" so they had Metalik beat him, but it was a great match. So I've been putting off talking about this horrible soap opera thing that we've all done on ourselves.
It's just straight out of a
Entangled In.
board.
It is so bad. We got Double Vest, who's now been busted back down to Double Vest because everything about this was so bad.
I want to talk to my friend.
Can you is there a way you could talk to Beej for me, because this is me faking some tears about how we came up together, and I just can't see our partnership end like this, please.
You're a grown man.
And let's not I believe we have to remind some people of some context. This is because during the women's tag match last week, the Beej sprinted down to the ring 10 minutes into the match with a purse and tried to give it to Fallon Henley so she would hit in full view of the ref her opponent, which would cause a disqualification and they would lose the match anyway. And she refused by screaming at the top of her lungs at the Beej. And Double Vest said, "Hey man, maybe it's not the best choice of strategy to in full view of the referee hand a foreign object to Fallon during the match." And the Beej shoved him and then walked away. And that now, a week later, has caused the Double Vest to just straight up lose it. Is having a very emotional moment.
All this made me do is like Kiana James. This whole angle has made me be like, she's a bad bitch. She's like, look, I'm a sex worker. That's obvious and that's fine. We support it. Do what you got to do. She also, while having that as a career to support herself, has become some merger and acquisition, brilliant real estate gal. Okay. She's like, I'm going to buy this bar. She's like, I'm not going to put the title for this bar up for no reason. And then they made her do it anyway, but she called it out. Then she was like, I'm not going to assume I'm in a relationship with this guy who has talked to me once in the past week. Right. I'm going to continue to date people. I'm going to find what I want in this life. I'm going to become a champion. I'm going to try to bring out, even though this crazy girl who has a horse lawyer, she's the weird one. Even though she's nuts, I'm going to bring the yeehaw bitch out of her so that we can be champions on this brand. And then Fallon Henley's like, no, I don't want to cheat. And then today, this just made me like her more. She's like, well, go talk to him, dumbass. He's like,
why don't you
I don't
talk
want
to
to see
him?
our friendship. And she's like,
why don't you talk to him yourself? And then the door opens and he walks in slow motion, and we get a shot of his feet, because now he has gone from wearing shit kicker cowboy boots to patent leather white loafers with no socks, and pan up, and now he's wearing like a button down dress shirt with a sateen finish, cut to the navel, and glasses, and he's got a very dramatic low ponytail.
He looked like a poor man's Salt Bay. Remember the Salt Bay guy?
Perhaps, yeah, I think so. You know what he reminded me of so much? This is a joke you will not get. He reminded me so much of the German
Simpsons.
Of the German guy who ends up with custody of the Fighting Hellfish treasure. Hey, fun boys, get a room. That guy. That's what he mach schnell mit the art things. That's what he looks like.
I don't get it, but I want to feel included, so I'm gonna laugh uproariously.
Yeah,
he does. Oh my god, he's just like that thing that you just referenced. Uncanny.
And looks exactly. Chris knows. Chris knows.
Yeah, so do I. That's why I'm emphatically agreeing.
The guy in the convertible. The guy in the convertible. There you go.
I know.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Boom. Boom. Boom.
I wrote that.
Yeah. So that's who he looks like now. It's very funny because it's so bad. Because he's like, I think you should leave. I don't want to talk to you at all. You ruined my life.
See what happens when you finally get laid.
Yeah. He says, I am late to see Kraftwerk. That's what he says.
Yeah,
so
I've seen that episode from.
Yeah.
It was in it's in one of the seasons from 1 to 25.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
This is really bad. But he's like, I don't even know who you are anymore. And he leaves. And then later we see him talking to Fallon. And at her bar. And then who walks in but Kiana and Beej. And Beej like swipes a finger along a table to check for dust. Because again, a week ago he was the shit kicker, like sidekick of Double Vest, and now he went to finishing school, and he's now a snooty boy.
Okay, he looks dumb, but he has a hot girlfriend.
Yeah,
he's having sex.
Yeah,
he's not with a bunch of friends who kind of suck. Let's get real. Yeah. They're like, we're gonna implode your life.
Yeah.
What good have they done?
Yeah, it's
good for him. Level up.
Yeah.
You know who your contract is looked over by? A horse.
They come in and challenge Double Vest and Horse Girl to a mixed tag match next week on spring break again. I thought they were going to hold off on this and do it at because obviously there's a lot more of this story to tell, and they were going to hold off and do this at Battleground, but they're going to do it next week. And so Fallon accepts, and Double Vest is like, I don't even know who you are anymore.
But if I gotta kick it into you,
but I'm gonna kick your ass to make you wake up and remember who you are. So next week we get Team Horsevest versus Team Beej Biz.
That's right.
Because
wait, can you say it like Big Joseph though? Please.
Horsevest, Beej Biz next. Actually, I realized.
Thank you, everybody.
She's not in business. She's in real estate. So it's Team Beej Estate. It's team Horsevest versus Beej Estate. Team Beej Estate.
They really made me in on the heels on this one. I'm like, nice
so
clothes.
Ramo, you are so true. How sad that this is the longest telling WWE storyline inside of the Bloodline. It might actually be. It's either this or Dom Mysterio's saga against his father. It's one of those two things, and that's it.
This is not entertaining. No. I'm trying to make it fun. Mm-hmm. I know.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. That's it. Well, no, I mean the joke is that his initials, Brooks Jensen, are BJ, and one time he came out and wrestled in a shirt that just had Beej, B and J in giant letters, spray painted, stenciled onto his front. So that's why.
And that was the day they became Double Vest and
the Double Vest and the Beej. And also, like, he's not even. Do you know what I found out? And honestly, He's not been wearing vests this whole time. A sleeveless jacket is actually called a jerkin. So he's double jerkin in the beach. That's actually what it is. That's the actual name for a sleeveless jacket is a jerkin. So
Alex,
he's been double jerkin.
Let me tell you about
with the beach for the whole time, you know.
The emotional roller coaster I just went on. Finding out that not only one vest, but 2 vests got ripped away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Heartbroken.
Mm-hmm.
And then to find out it was called a jerkin, and we've been this whole time we could have had jerkin in the beach.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Play games with my heart, Alex Blowski.
You know, I mean, I want nothing but to educate the people in the SGS that really he's been double jerking it this whole time. I want
to make my segue so bad, but it's so good later. I have it all keyed up already, and there's so many opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, get your super chats and get in your humper chats tastefully about Beach Estate.
Mm-hmm. Jambeard says that if mixed nuts don't give you enough protein in your life, Bluechew, code Fightful. Jay Pringle says Team Beach Accountant. Jambeard says horse vest versus hashtag beach prawn. And Tom Weiss says Beach Estate. Is that like the red light district in London? Yes. And Luis Polio says, oh God, double jerking in the beach with the prawn accountant. Good Lord, HBK is evil. Oh, there's no way that he knows that a sleeveless jacket is called a jerkin. There's no way he knows that.
He's like, did I wear one of those 20 years ago? No? Okay,
Probably.
then I'm not interested.
Probably. Odyssey Jones comes out to have a match with nobody. This is what I love about the I got surprised during my entrance. He was scheduled to have a match. Does the guy who he was going to have a match with win by forfeit? Anyway, Braun Breaker comes out of nowhere and spears Odyssey Jones out of his boots.
Now I have to look up the exact line. Okay, so here's the thing about that. There was a lot of stuff on the show that did not make sense. And I'm not saying I'm one of those people that ironically enjoys things, because I don't. I would much rather have a show that makes sense. However, today it made such little sense that I couldn't help but giggle about a lot of stuff. And one of them was this. Like, what are you doing with Odyssey Jones, who is great, who was over, who, to my knowledge, is medically cleared? He said he was going to spear his little ass in half. He has a really explosive spear, Alex. Sometimes people don't have such explosive spears. And
it's true.
They definitely can't spear someone's little ass in half. And sometimes you need a little help. If you don't have that snap in it, if you're not throwing your whole self into it like Ricky Starks in his spear, if you don't got that Goldberg flow, you need Bluechew.
Your penis is soft. Let me help. Not like that. Bluechew.com. Code Fightful. Bluechew brings you the first chewable with the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but it's ready when you are, or when you're not. It's not about having a problem. It's about having that performance, that excellent performance, that confidence. Fill out their online questionnaire. You'll work with an online physician. You won't have to wait in line at the pharmacy or the doctor's office. It's shipped discreetly and directly to you, and you get that first shipment free when you use that code FIGHTFUL at checkout. You want to be confident, don't you? You want that pay-per-view, that main event performance. Don't let yourself or somebody else down. Use Bluechew.com and the code FIGHTFUL.
Alpha Bill says I've been part of these streams for so long now that I know exactly when Segway cogs and Kate's head start going. It's true. It's true. I don't know about this, Jambeard. I don't know what Odyssey Jones and Rick Steiner's views are shared in any ways, but I believe that is Quincy Elliott instead. But Odyssey Jones has proven nothing in the ring other than he's really great, very athletic for a big man. He got hurt and was out for a while. Harland hurt him, and in the meantime, Harland got fired, and he wasn't able to like come back and get revenge on the man who hurt him. So he's just hanging out, doing nothing but getting speared in half. So
I hope with Carmelo as champion, they run those two back. Because that was the breakout tournament finals, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. One of them, yeah, I think it was. You're right. It was.
They should do that because that was a fantastic match, and it kind of plays off of the Braun story of like Braun and Carmelo were the two guys picked to be the future, but like that finals of the breakout tournament was so awesome. So I think,
yeah,
they should do.
Yep, yeah. So. Duke Hudson pipes up in the crowd and carrying his MVP trophy, and he cuts a very impassioned speech on Braun Breaker. And then he's interrupted by Braun Breaker and is like, all right, that's all right. Sure. You want to talk a big game? I'll fight you, no problem. And then this was very funny. Duke is like, oh, you thought I was done. Braun thought I was done talking. I'm not done talking. Next week you're gonna fight Andre Chase. You're gonna fight Andre Chase next week, and he's gonna beat you up. So it is Duke is very, very good on the mic, and not very many could handle the nuance of cutting a promo like you're challenging Braun Breaker to a match at Spring Break again, but actually turn it around and say that you're challenging him to a match against Andre Chase at Spring Break again. That was a very hard thing for him to do. And yet I just want Duke away from this whole thing because he's better than this. This is the only way he gets on television, and that sucks. But I actually want to see Duke Hudson allowed to be at full power against Braun Breaker.
Yes, very much so.
But he's not. He's a comedy guy right now, so he wouldn't be allowed to be at full power versus Braun Breaker. And instead, not only would I not get to see him at like half power, I don't get to see him at all. I get to see Andre Chase, where Braun Breaker is just gonna spear his little ass in half, and that's. That's just the thing. Somebody brought this up too. Who was this? It was Thomas. Thomas says, I love Braun's heel wardrobe, black tank top, black pants, like he's in WCW in the year 2000. It is very much like, oh, hey, well, all of your merch is currently designed for a baby face. So we're going to have you go out there in a straight up black plain tank top.
Duke Hudson's great.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the saving grace with him and the Chase U stuff is he's the guy that is smarter than it. Like he's been the guy the whole time that's been like the wheels are turning and is he leaving or isn't he? And as dumb as the stuff with the Schism was, like he was the one that made the turn and saved it, right? So it's like he's at least the one that's the mastermind in all of that. Mm-hmm. But you're right in that he's a super talented wrestler. Like he this promo, I think about when they did that stuff with Cameron Grimes, like they gave him all that dumb poker stuff, and he like it was dumb what they gave him, but he did really, really well with I mean, not just because I'm a CM Punk mark, but like calling back to like luck is for losers kind of thing. Like he gets what he's doing. I hope they see what you and I see in him, because he's a really special talent, and he's also like the kind of guy that they tend to like from an aesthetic standpoint. I think he could be kind of what they would view as a sleeper hit. It's something that you and I think have seen it since kind of the earlier days of 2.0 and whatever. But he's really good. And this promo is an example of like anything that they've thrown his way, he's knocked out of the park. Even stuff like this, which you're right, is a little bit trickier of playing the like what Andre Chase. It was well done. But the Braun Breaker stuff, man, I was excited for the heel turn. They got to give him something more than the clowns in Florida, the fat guys in Florida, because it's boring.
Yeah. Well, Jambeard has a good idea for the wrong reason. It should be a handicap match against Braun so we can destroy Chase and Duke, because I don't really see anything in Duke. Open your eyes, Duke's great, but I do like the idea that it's a handicap match. Because
I like the idea it's a handicap match.
Because Chase basically already having broken ribs, you could play up from the first spear and not really wanting to be a part of this. But Duke's like, nah, come on. I got us a handicap match. We can beat them together. And then Duke gets scared and runs away because that's...
I can see why people are missing it in Duke Hudson, and it's because he's been given something that has a major ceiling on it.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets to spread his wings a little bit, I think we'll be singing a different tune.
Mm-hmm. Chris Perez says Yokozuna.
I have one in my head, but I can't figure it out. But there's something with Shinsuke Nakamura and like macadamia nuts. Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, it feels cheap. Maca. I feel like it's with macadamia, but then I lose it in the second half. We're so fun. Oh my god, I killed Alex. Oh no, quick. Here. Have a glass of water. Here you go. Oh my god, it disappeared. We have fun.
We do. Pretty Deadly got interviewed. Yes Boy 2 is still traumatized from being put in the trunk, but they say they're challenging Tony D'Angelo and Stax to whatever match they want. If it's they could be like a hardcore type match. Yeah, stop telling me what his actual name is. He's the brunette. He's the Yes Boy 2. And the D'Angelo family has decided they're going to not just do a regular anything goes match, but it's going to be the first ever trunk match. Whoever can put their opponents in the trunk of the vehicle and drive away. So it is an ambulance match, but with a regular car.
With a car. At this point, I almost respect it. Like I do. I'm like, they're like, it's just an ambulance match with a different gimmick. Okay. You know what? I'm in.
It should be. We lock you in a crate with an open top, and then we pour wet cement in the top. Like it should be how Lips Manless goes in the Dick Tracy movie. Like that's the way it should be.
Here's the deal. I feel like, do you remember a while ago when we were talking about Imperium and Fabian Eichner, Giovanni Vinci was still in NXT, and you were like, here are all the reasons stables are more fun with 3 people instead of a guy and in that case a ring announcer.
Yes.
I'm feeling that way about Tony D and Stax. And I'm not saying it was a big mistake. It's not like a big mistake. It's smaller than this mistake. It doesn't, I'm not like about it. But at the same time, I do think it would just be, there'd be more going on with the D'Angelo family at the same time as the feud, and the feud's it's not bad, but it's not worked out particularly well. So I just think it would be a better idea if there was more underlings, because you can't have a mob boss and his henchmen and nobody else.
Yeah. A third guy always makes it makes it much better because there's just
a numbers game now.
Inherently there's more fun conflict.
Yeah, because at any point it could turn 2/3. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Especially when like one guy is the leader, and like if you have a tag team and you're equals, okay. But if you have one guy is the leader and he has a stooge, there's not a lot of different stories you can tell there. You know? Yeah.
So that was going through my head a little bit. But the good thing is I know that WWE, especially NXT, would never just break up a tag team for one match. They didn't do it with Ivy and Potato, and they definitely didn't do it with Grayson Judson.
Here's the thing they easily could have done, but it's too late now. Especially if you have them lose this match, which it feels too obvious for them to win because it's their match they just made up and they're the guys who put people in trunks.
Right.
I think they should win, but it feels weird to do this match and make it that obvious that they're going to win. So if you have them lose this match, they realize they need more muscle. And so you bring in a guy and you don't call him this, you call him something with a fun give him a fun like mob type nickname, but you bring in Tank Ledger. Like you bring in a guy who you have ready to debut on television, who hasn't debuted yet. You bring in the muscle of the group, and you have that guy just powerbomb dudes through tables for a while until he starts having matches with Stacks as part of a tag team, and then you push Tony D. And he's got two guys, one guy who's his trusted associate, the other dude who was hired muscle. And there you got a faction. That's a faction to do. But it can't be Tank Ledger now because as we see in this thing, he's everybody's friend. Danny Palmer, you're going to do great just like I did great in my match. You're going to do great in your match. I'm Tank Ledger. I'm everybody's friend. Well, it can't be him anymore. You can't use him. So find something else, you know?
Would have been fun if it was Dijak.
It would have been fun if it was Dijak. No. Can't do that now. And you can't break up Hank and Tank. Not now. Not now. Not after this. No. Yeah. There you go. Have the muscle be called Tiny because it's funny because he isn't tiny. Always good. Always good.
That never fails.
Yeah. JW Pringle says, drive them to a local medical sleep with the fishes.
I don't want that to return on commentary, but it is.
JB Pringle says NXT needs to do lunches. It would be a big step forward.
Respect.
All right. Roxanne Perez and Zoey Stark had a really good match. It is kind of like, of course they did, because Zoey Stark is a fantastic veteran who knows exactly what she's doing in the ring. And
Roxanne is WWE NXT Women's Champion. Oh, yeah. Wait.
She's a prodigy who's always going to be great and get better. And, of course, they had a good match.
No, but she is not a prodigy anymore, Alex. She has anxiety, and that is the only thing about her if you listen to commentary. She has no other traits anymore except anxiety, and they kept saying what a triumph it was that she was in the ring. She lost her title. They also made it sound like she took an enormous hiatus. She has wrestled more than Indy has from the time Indy has won the title until now. I don't know what they're having on commentary, but I want some because nothing that they said was true today. Not during this match. This angle sucks. Not even just they could not have done Indy a bigger disservice as far as giving her a title goes. She is the women's champion. Her promo was all right tonight. But she's going to lose it she's gonna lose the title real fast, and B,
Mm-hmm.
she does not feel important on the show as the title holder. It feels like right now, honestly, it feels like Tiffany Stratton, Roxanne, Cora Jade, your women's champion. That ain't great.
I mean,
it's all self-inflicted. It's all because of them.
She doesn't even feel as important as Gigi Dolan and JC Jane right now.
One of them has a broken shoulder. So
she comes in after Roxanne has a fantastic counter and hits the Pop Rocks.
Yeah, that was a really good ending. The match was great. The match
was great. They're both of them are great. But and then what? Because and then what is that Indy comes out to talk to Roxanne and says that you never lost this title. So I'm giving you a shot at it because I feel like you deserve it because you never lost the title.
But she did lose it.
But
that would have won.
She lost the ladder match, but she never got pinned for it.
She got pinned by her anxiety, Alex.
Yeah, she got pinned by mental health.
According to them.
And so she says, I want to, and so Roxanne says, yes, you and I are very good friends inside and outside of this ring, but when it comes to the NXT Women's Championship, you know that it's every woman for herself, and extends a hand, but I accept your challenge. And then out comes Tiffany Stratton. And Roxanne says that how if you're so great, how did I beat you to win the
breakout tourney,
the breakout tournament, and then what does Tiffany say?
That is so 2022.
That's exactly what she says. She says,
I know, I said it.
It was very, very good.
She's great, man. And she's going to win. And then Roxanne is going to chase her. And Indy is going to have a fit because she finally won the title. And now she's lost it. And now she's a heel again, probably.
So Indy says, I'm tired of both of you thinking that I'm going to be easy to beat. So I'll make it extra easy for you to beat me. I challenge you to a triple threat match. I'm tired of everyone thinking I'm super easy to beat. So I'll make sure everyone just thinks I'm stupid. I challenge you to a triple threat match next week. Well, it's been nice knowing you, Indy Hartwell's title reign, because if they book her to win next week, it will feel incredibly forced and it'll be bad for the brand. I do not believe that this was the right time to put the title on her.
Was it because of the complete lack of build or story going into it and out of it? Was that something to do with it?
Yeah.
Or that Dexter Lumis actually was the one that won the match?
Mm-hmm.
She deserves so much better. This is not on her at all. She's a fantastic wrestler. Her promo here was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she's babyface, so of course she's dumb. But this made me be like, is Indy getting called up? Because it feels like this is like, let's say that she was an NXT Women's Champion before she gets called up, even though it was a month long. That's how it read to me. But I don't think anyone's ever getting called up. So
yeah,
this is bad.
I mean, Tiffany
match is gonna be killer.
Tiffany winning the title makes so much sense here, but you could have just had her win the fucking title at the goddamn ladder match.
There it is.
I don't understand what
Can you imagine Tiffany Stratton who beat 4 other women? How much fun that would be?
Yeah. So
I had a Tiffany epiphany at the top of the ladder. I said, toodles to 4 other girls' championship dream. She would knock that out of the park.
Yeah.
This is silly.
Weird.
Downright silly, Alex.
downright silly. Jambeard says if you look at the NXT roster, there's a guy by the name of Luca Crucifino who looks like he would fit in with Tony's mob. And Luis says apparently this is true. I'm going to look at his Twitter and see what he looks like.
You look at his Twitter, and I'll remind the good people watching to subscribe to Fightful Select.com. I'll also remind you to get in your super chats and your comfort chats. And leave a thumbs up on this video if you'd be so kind. And you can follow us at twitch.tv/FightfulGaming.
Yeah.
Did you know
that? This guy looks like he already works for the actual mob.
Maybe he does. You don't know.
It's very possible. I don't know. Yeah.
Drop the link in the chat so people can see.
I'm gonna go ahead and find this, put this up on the thing. But yeah, that's what he looks like. Yeah, I don't know. I'll never understand what the hell is going through HBK's mind.
Well, he's a horrible fucking kid.
But like, why do the whole rigmarole with Roxanne to get the title off of her, to do the ladder match, to then put it on Indy, to then we assume take it off Indy a month later? Like, what?
Because he's the horrible fucking kid.
Because he's a horrible.
Are there any Shawn Michaels triple threats that would fit into this?
Oh, I don't know. It's a good question.
Let's think about it. Cora Jade's gonna cost Indy.
Yeah, probably. Okay, hold on. What am I doing here? I'm putting up Crucifino. Come on now. Here we go.
He left. Alex left me. Can CM Punk host with me? This is it. If you guys want to ask any questions to CM Punk, now's your shot.
I'm still here. I don't understand what happened.
You're me. Oh.
Why did you kick me out? Don't kick me out. I'm ready.
I didn't do it.
I don't understand why they did that. They kicked me out. It was so nice. It was so mean of them. But I'm here. I'm back. I didn't let.
We didn't even get scripts coming in.
No.
Normally, when you get kicked out, it's because scripts hacked you.
No, it's because Scripps is debuting on Grapsity, for God's sake. There's Luca Crucifino.
What
Esquire.
aren't we doing?
Like, why is this man not already
doing?
Why is this man?
I don't care. I don't care if he is the 6-foot knight of Dominic Mysterio. I don't care. You put this man out there.
Like,
he's winking and pointing, and he's got the ring and the pinstripe suit and the pocket square.
Why is that? I don't understand, man. I don't understand why that.
He could go out, do just this, and I'm sold. You don't even have to wrestle.
I don't understand. Like, just do this. So weird. What the?
I mean, it's developmental. He might just not be there yet, but who cares? Don't even have him wrestle for another month and a half. This is the guy.
It's just, I don't know why.
This is the dude.
That's the dude. That's the third guy. Yeah. I mean, he's obviously the guy. Whatever. Okay, so
he looks like he's a mob game show host. I am here for it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. What was the next thing that happened? Oh, this Von Wagner dumbass bullshit. Okay. There was a stipulation last week that if Von Wagner lost, then Robert Stone would no longer be his manager.
We didn't read the fine print, Alex, because the fine print said, unless you win me over by reading the first 2 sentences of your Wikipedia page.
So he's like, I know, I listen. I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'm ready ready to open up to you. You gonna open up to me? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to open up to you. I don't know. I'm leaving. My name is Von Wagner, and this is all I ever wanted to be as a WWE wrestler because it's in my blood. My dad was a Beverly brother. And
Yeah,
Robert Jones says, "All right, that's a good start." And he leaves, and they leave together. And my question is, those sentences were easily Googleable. They are the first two sentences that show up on his Wikipedia page. How did you not already have this information, Robert Stone?
Why do you have a stipulation on a match to then not have that stipulation mean anything? Why do you go out of your way to create a stipulation that you're just not going to have be a thing? Also, why you as a talent want a manager who has done nothing but manage absolute freaking losers, men and women, the entire time that he's been a manager? And why do you, Robert Stone, as a manager, have one client and it's this guy who never wins anything? This pairing makes no sense. Neither of them help each other. The stipulations sucked. It didn't come into play at all. And the reason Von Wagner won him over is probably the thing that's in his WWE bio. And it was delivered without the slightest bit of intensity. What on earth is this doing on a wrestling televised product? This does not work. What?
Alpha Bill says, "My name is Alpha Bill and I hate letters." And Luis reminding us,
work out with your therapist.
Luis reminds us that he wrestled against Sheamus on SmackDown in the pandemic era as Cal Bloom.
Yep.
So we've already known all of this. And Jam Beard says, "Did he really say a dad was Beverly brother? Because to me that screams he's going to get repackaged as Von Beverly."
Well, no, they couldn't say. Like, what are you repackaging? What is this first package? He was Kyle O'Reilly's fishing buddy.
Did he have a package to begin with?
No, and if your package needs help, you could use bluechew.com code Fightful. But they have literally never figured out a single thing that works with him, except that sometimes when he's in a multi-person match, he can throw a guy into a table. Other than that, he's like, here's a shoulder block and a big boot.
So there was this Axiom vignette about scripts. Alpha Bill says, "When did Axiom and scripts become Batman and the Joker?" I don't know, but I don't even want to talk about that. I want to talk about how the Grapsity boys don't even know who Scripps is, and I'm very upset about that. And
I do know who J5 from Short Circuit.
I have a feeling that I have there's somebody else who's also very upset about this.
Who? Scraps.
Listen, Will Washington and Phil. Is that even your real name? C.M. Lindsay.
He is from Chicago.
And Reg, I don't know how righteous you are. Listen, I'll have you know that I was actually supposed to be in that Circuit City movie, Short Circuit, whatever it is. They wanted me to be in it, but I couldn't because I had to go off and film Running Man and Predator and Abraxas. I had to film all these big time, huge movies, but they were like, "We want you to be in the Short Circuit movie." I wasn't supposed to play Johnny 5 though. I was supposed to play Johnny 6.5, and then they cut that part out of the script, out of the script because nobody else could do it. So that's what it is.
I'm so sorry. That seems to be a reoccurring theme of of your life that just like these opportunities get handed to you and then taken away and handed to you and taken away. Grap City boys who are so up on their wrestling don't even know who Scripps is.
I don't even know what they don't even know what. Listen, I'm the Scripps. Obviously, it's me, Jesse. It's me. It's Jesse V. It's Jesse Ventura, and obviously it's me. But I don't know why they thought I was Johnny Five. I mean, possibly because I was supposed. It's because they're up on their trivia. They know I was supposed to star in it as Johnny 6.5, and then I had to go and film The Running Man instead. So that's all.
It makes sense, but I do feel like if you know who Scripps is, you probably know it's Jesse the Body Ventura at this point. I mean, let's be real, right?
Yeah, that's true. You should. Everyone should know this. Is very obvious.
Yeah, look at you,
Charles Montgomery Lindsay. That's his full name. And apparently, Karrion Kross doesn't mean Scripps. It's true. It is
true. Karrion Kross does a great Scripps.
It's the only thing he does well.
That is a mean thing to say about your coworker.
I mean, listen, I'll find him in backstage and I'll tell him to his face. I'll tell it to his wife's face too. His weird, spooky wife who doesn't really do much.
Whoa,
it's true.
You're gonna show up on one of them tarot cards.
And I as though that does it. You know who showed up on one of them tarot cards? Rey Mysterio. What happened there? Basically nothing.
Well, he got injured. But the point is,
Jambeard says the Scripps. Did you see that video of Will Sasso doing a perfect Jesse the Body Ventura impression with Chris Van Fleet? Yeah, that Will Sasso. He's been around for a while trying to do me, but listen, it's not the same thing. It's a cheap imitation, a knockoff, if you will.
It is.
Anyway,
it is.
Yeah,
Scripps, we missed you last week. I'm glad that you're here.
Johnny 6.6.5 carry a minigun, a la Predator. What they had was a minigun, but it was laser minigun. It was a laser minigun. It was one of those things. I just shoot lasers a lot, like that guy in The Mandalorian. You know.
Scripps, I just realized you're getting super chats, which makes me so happy.
Of course.
I didn't realize you were. I mean, I knew you were such a big draw in wrestling. I just didn't know that you.
Righteous Reginald and William George Washington. It's true.
It is true.
Yeah. Anyway,
Righteous Reg. Anyway. I wonder if he's a part of the Righteous with Vincent and Dutch or in ROH.
It's possible. I'm not really.
Do you watch ROH? Do you watch the ROH program?
I watched the Row program. I watched the Impact program. I watched it all.
You got it. You got your finger on the pulse of all of professional wrestling, huh?
I watched the AU. I watched all those things as well.
Who are some of your favorite AU stars?
Well, I like the Kenny Omega.
Sure.
And I like the Kenny Omega quite a lot, and the Young Books. I like them a lot as well.
You're a big fan of the
Eli. I like the Eli a lot. And I love the Eli.
What about the Impact? Anybody over there? Do you like the Speedball?
Well, I like the new fella. What's the new champion of they got over there? The
Steve Macklin?
Macintosh, whatever his name is, the Apple guy.
Close. You know what?
Yep.
Nailed it.
Good enough. All right. Well, I gotta go. All right. I'll be back.
All right. It was great to see you.
Next week
missed you.
or whatever. It's possible. All right. Bye,
Scripps,
everybody.
We love you.
Yep. Johnny 6.5 is fine. It's an average number, ladies. It's perfectly fine as long as you got some girth. Okay. Bye. What's happening?
Oh, we had a banger of an interview with Scripps. We found out some of his favorite talent, his Impact talent. I didn't get a chance to ask him about Rowe, but I didn't know he was so. Some people get laser focused on their own promotion or whatever. He's got his finger on the pulse.
Yeah, he's I hear he's a big fan of Kenny Omega.
Big fan of the Eli.
Jake Salazar says, "Scripps, do you like the guns? I hear they're great."
Well,
I think he likes miniguns, basically, if they were smaller, but also much larger. What?
What?
All right. Sol Ruka, Danny. We already did that one. The weird backstage thing where Tank Ledger's everybody's friend. I don't understand what that was.
He's super popular.
Danny Palmer has big Thea Hale energy. I feel like you can only have one young, small female wrestler who's high on coke.
No, you get
one.
You get one of each.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
I'm in.
Cora Jade defeated Gigi Dolan when Booker T got JC Jane showed up and got yeeted into Booker T, and then Gigi Dolan ran into the ring and took a DDT from Cora Jade and lost.
Real good job coming off of this hot angle.
What? This is a new thing now. This is like recent. It's a recent thing now with Booker T, where he just goes, yeah.
Oh yeah! What is that?
He's doing his Wolfman Jack impersonation, which is a DJ that died 30 years ago, I think, and was popular in the 1960s.
It's so
weird. Yeah, and that's basically this whole thing the whole time.
I love when Vic Joseph just gives up. Like when he was like mentioned beating Big E today, was like, I like Big E, and he was just like, really?
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Vic Joseph was like, all right.
Frantic World asks where Lash Legend is. She's wrestling on Level Up. That's about it.
She's lashing out is what she's doing.
Mm-hmm. Jambier says Scripps could never do a first blood match because he ain't got time to bleed.
Him and Moxley, man.
Which is true.
It'd be over so fast.
So Gigi Dolan lost to Cora Jade because JC Jane showed up, and then JC Jane cut an extra vicious promo on her in the parking lot that was like, well, I mean, uncomfortable. Like when she was 17, she abandoned her baby brother to still live with their abusive alcoholic and drug addict mom while she went and couch surfed while trying to become a wrestler. And I was like, I don't like this information. This information makes me confused.
Doesn't make her feel like a face.
No, it is bad. I don't like this.
Yeah, that was weird because I was like, that doesn't feel like the heel swatting down a face to pop them back up. You know what I mean? Like here's the softball and the whatever. So I was not a fan of that. That was a little weird.
Yeah. Yeah, that was very effective and a well-delivered promo, but like
I don't know if it was effective though, because it doesn't make Gigi Dolan look like she didn't really have a ton to counter with.
I mean, the thing of it is that if JC Jane truly hates Gigi Dolan and has this information as a human being who is trying to tear her down, her rival down, this is the way to do that. That part makes sense. But it doesn't if you don't actually want Gigi Dolan diminished in the eyes of your audience. Perhaps this is not the best thing to actually have her say.
The level that this got to, the only way to counter it is like Gigi's brother is there right now. You know what I mean? Like that's one of those.
Yep. It's true.
You know how I don't want to like use MJF as an example, but I will. Like when MJF of recent is tearing someone down, like the amount of up that you get out of that for like Jungle Boy, when we first met, I thought I had met my equal. Like, bam, you immediately just put him on the world champions level. And then it almost doesn't matter what you say from there because you've conceded already that this dude is on your level. That's the first thing we hear out of MJF's mouth. And then he says, you know, their careers went in different paths, whatever. Perfect. But like when you set up the framework of your championship material, perfect. This didn't have a counter context to make it an effective heel promo that is productive in making the face look good. Like that's the whole point of a heel promo, really. So unless she shows up with her brother the next week and what, you know what I mean? Like there's still ways to do that, but it just felt like tear down for what? Not turn down for what, but tear down for what?
Jake says Booker T can't actually be this bad on commentary.
Oh,
This has to be a sands of blind on us who don't watch NXT.
Nope.
No,
I wish.
I promise you. Promise you. However bad we say he is, he's actually worse because I am able to tune him out through most of the stuff. Like I just don't. My brain just like it's just a weird droning in the background. And, occasionally, my ears will perk up and I'll hear something. But I know I'm missing a lot of really, really terrible stuff. It's worse than worse.
What they did during Roxanne's match today was, I mean, it was actively bad commentary. There's like a lot of like, oh my God, you're droning on and not adding value. Today they were like, she's back from her anxiety after one entire week off. It also just undercut everything she was as a champion. Like it's, this was a tough one today, Alex.
Yep. Eddie Thorpe got interviewed and was interrupted by Damon Kemp. Damon Kemp says complimentary things in a weird, sarcastic way that makes Eddie Thorpe upset.
Yes.
I mean, is that
a feud?
Looks like it's a feud. I was hoping for like they'd be friends, but.
Well, if you're friends, then you have to split up. So really, it's just
eventually, like the feud then happens later.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Eddie Thorpe's great. Seen him on the Indies a bunch. Carl Fredericks. Intrigued to see where the stuff about his heritage is going because I didn't sincerely know any of it. But yeah, we'll see where this goes. It feels like I'm intrigued because I genuinely don't know if Damon Kemp is like at the point where he can kind of carry an introductory feud. If he can, that's awesome. So that's neat.
Dijak was coming to work and shoved a reporter to the ground, I guess. And Apollo's like, "Hey, don't do that. My role here is veteran good guy who stands up when bad things happen to people I shouldn't care about. That's who I am, Apollo Crews."
Is Dabba-Kato just gone again?
Somebody's going to have to explain to me what the hell that was all about. If Dabba-Kato is injured and can't continue the program, like he came back, attacked Apollo Crews, like ruined all of his momentum that he had, whatever it was, such as it was. And then they had him face Apollo Crews in a match and beat him clean. And Dabba-Kato appeared like in a couple of battle royals. And that's it. And Apollo Crews has been busted down to veteran good guy who takes interest in things. Yikes.
The fact that these two are facing each other in NXT is a symptom of how bad things have gotten. Because they should both be there to put over younger talent. And they should both be near or having titles. So the fact that they're facing each other is, to me, a very unproductive sign for your roster. Not great. I look forward to seeing the match because that'll be great. Like the two of them will be awesome.
Yeah.
But the Dabba-Kato thing just disappearing is very odd. And it's not like they needed to bring him back to resolve it. I wasn't like, please tie up the loose ends between these two at all. So if he's injured, I hope he gets better.
Did Apollo not see this cameraman push with his future sight? He could have stopped it before it happened. Give me sight beyond sight. And no, it didn't work.
Yeah, his bloody diner eyes.
He no longer has this superpower. Apparently. It's a superpower that he had when he was an important person, and now he's not important, so he no longer has it. How important is he not? He has a really good match with Dijak and just gets pinned.
Yeah.
I thought Dabba-Kato was going to come out
and cost him
continue the whole thing. But no, Dijak just beat him. hit him with the feast your eyes, pinned him 1, 2, 3. Apollo Crews came back to NXT a year ago, and it seemed destined to be a top guy, to hold a title, to put over another guy, and that has not materialized. And I feel like Apollo Crews and Dijak had a great match tonight. And they could have done this great match and a series of great matches in a feud for the U.S. title at any point in the past year on the main roster. And instead, we have just Austin Theory walking around with a title, cutting bad promos. And,
but he low blowed a ref. So
he doesn't have
Are
anything.
you a believer now?
He doesn't have anything to not doing anything with it. So like, it is very odd that they've just decided to have Dijak and Apollo Crews in NXT.
Man, I loved your idea of him being a heavy for Seth Rollins.
Back when Seth was still firmly a heel.
Healy, yeah.
Having Dijak be his heavy would have been a no-brainer, and it would have been awesome to watch. And unfortunately, no.
I wonder if something happens with them with the draft.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the draft. I don't like this whole everybody is available except NXT. We said everybody, so we thought you would think we said NXT. We didn't say NXT. That's what it feels like to me, anyway. So afterwards, he's going to beat up Apollo Crews some more, but then Dragunov runs out, and Dragunov versus Dijak when it happens is going to be great. And then what? I don't know. It just doesn't feel like there's a lot of forward movement beyond whatever is happening currently. It doesn't ever, it used to feel like, all right, this guy's the champ. He's feuding with this guy. At the next takeover, it'll be a great match. The current champ will lose. He'll be brought up to Raw or SmackDown, and the challenger now will be the champ now. And you used to be able to pick out one or at most 2 or 3 other guys who you knew were being set up to be the challenger for the new champ. It used to be really fun to be like, okay, they're going to push and protect this guy because they know in 6 months' time, he's going to be going into the next takeover to move on from there. And right now it feels like, because the top of the division is Carmelo Hayes and an Australian who loses all the matches he's in, it doesn't feel like they have that's not important. It feels unimportant. It feels like we'll talk about the main event segment. It feels generically unimportant. So if Dragunov beats Dijak, does it feel to you like Dijak's got a rocket under him and he's going to be the next guy to take on Carmelo Hayes?
Because there's also, I don't even think this is the fault of the horrible booking, kid. I think what do you do with people that have had year-long title reigns and don't get called up? Or there's a lot of people that it feels just like, what are they left to do in NXT? Because it kind of have, I honestly thought Indy was one of them, because I was like, well, they're never going to give her the title, so either call her up or stop wasting her time, because that girl will light it up in ROH or wherever. Yeah. Or just call her up to the main. The way is right there, and so there's a few of those. That I'm like, okay, did Zoey Stark, great. Does she need to be in NXT? Because if you're not giving her the title at some point, she's developed. You know what I mean? So I feel like when you don't alleviate that balloon, there's nobody to. You can't say who's next in line. It definitely doesn't feel like Wesley is going from the North American title to the world title. It feels like Wesley is probably going to drop the title, and then I would think would get called up at some point. He'd be so. I mean, he's great on his own. He's great in a tag team.
Yeah.
He'd be a really strong mid card guy. It's just if you don't have clear paths for people going up, that's not even Shawn Michaels' fault because it's like, all right, well, what do I do? We built up all this stock in them, and now there's no way to pay it off. There's no progression. So I don't know.
Yeah. Wesley defeated Charlie Dempsey. It's a good match.
He did. Really good match.
And then afterwards, the bad guys beat up Wesley some more and then stood over him with the title belt. So I guess that means we're going to get Trouble in the Drew Gulak versus Wesley.
Hell yeah. Let's do it.
It'll be good. And then what? Like it doesn't.
I mean, we can't do that because this is a logically built story, and there's going to be.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be a really good. Like it doesn't feel like they're like Wesley is going to be. Wesley hasn't had a feud. If this is the first one, good. I guess good. But it feels like, all right, I'm going to have another open challenge, and another open challenge, another open challenge, and another open challenge, and this time I'm going to have an open challenge with 5 guys, but that's mostly just for cheeseburgers. But but I yeah, this is a good title reign. It just, I don't know. I'm feeling it. NXT on the whole feels very, even more so than usual, very aimless to me. The women's title picture feels very aimless. Like I don't even know why they're doing what they're doing. The tag title picture, Gallus is champs, and okay, and the women's title, the women's tag champions are the Team Spooky Scotland. They have got nobody to face.
And that's the other thing. What are you doing with Kaden and Katana? Like
they're having matches on Level Up.
Why?
So like it just does it. I don't know, man. I don't know.
It does feel aimless, and it almost feels like Shawn Michaels was expecting a bunch of people to get called up, and they said no.
Yeah,
but maybe if people get drafted, then some of this aimlessness will shake out. Because you're also not going to start a bunch of stuff if people are going to get called up, right?
Yeah. I guess.
I don't know.
Obafemi is coming, and he likes to throw oddly shaped heavy things a very long distance in a field.
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Good for Obafemi. Like it was like this is one of the weirdest vignettes
weird.
This is a very weird vignette.
It's
where they're just like they're just showing a couch flying through the air and landing, and then they show Obafemi, and he's like, is Obafemi coming soon? Is he just gonna does he just throw other wrestlers for distance? Is that what he does? Interesting.
I kind of want to see it. I want to see a stipulation where wrestlers get chucked as far as you can throw them. But I get to pick who's getting chucked.
Right. Total nutshell action. TNA from Ricardo. That's very good. So the Grayson Waller effect with Hayes and Williams is an utterly worthless segment. Utterly worthless.
Also have to point out that Grayson Waller was like, it's not a prediction, it's the Grayson Waller effect. And I was like, nope, you can't do that. You can't steal Paul Heyman's line and change it. That doesn't work. In an interview segment, this did not do a lot.
It did nothing. There's nothing more useless to me than a face-to-face segment, which basically boils down to, I believe that I shall win next week. Aha! Counterpoint. I believe that I shall win next week. Great. Glad we did this. What? What new information? I mean, they don't like each other. Check. And What new information was given? Why was this segment necessary to build to the match? In what way was any of this a thing we had to see, that if you missed this, you wouldn't be hyped for the match next week? Where? How? What? In what way? It was just a worthless segment.
Melo got a couple of good jabs in. I mean, they weren't that great if I can't remember what they were, but he did mention to Grayson Waller, like, you have never been like truly near winning the title.
All that points out is that he shouldn't
loses
be
all the
booked
time.
in this position. If you have Carmelo Hayes come out and go, where are your accolades? What big matches have you won? What titles have you ever held? And the answer is none, and the guy can't say anything back to him about it, then all you've done is point out the truth, which is that Grayson Waller should never have a title match. Like, or should not have been booked in a match to become the number one contender, because all he does is lose. And once you're pointing that out to us, once you're like, then now all you've made it with all this being pointed out to me, if I wasn't aware of it, I would be less likely to look forward to the match next week. You know,
the last person to do this to him was Johnny Gargano, and it ended up with his wife and kid watching him get his ass beat. So at least they didn't do that. But I'll say this much. I'm glad that the wrestler did this.
Yeah.
I'm glad that the wrestler pointed it out.
Yeah.
Because the type of wrestler that Carmelo Hayes is should point stuff like this out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And just because WWE doesn't know how to book it, his fault. So
and also like how dare you make me agree with Grayson Waller about something? The only reason you're sitting here with that title is because you got your boy with you who cheats on your behalf every time you have a match. Like, that, pointing that out and being true is like, well, again, that's true. And maybe you guys need to think about booking a different finish for a Carmelo Hayes match occasionally. Because if that is the truth, and it is, then that makes him look bad.
Well, this is their opportunity to... They should have done it with Braun because they double turned him anyway. But this is the first, like, he's definitively a face, so they need to figure it out.
Yeah. They
cannot, as a babyface, do that. And I give a little bit more grace for the fact that, like, he won a contendership match, right? So people who lose, for me, if you win a contendership match, you passed the challenge that lets you be in the match. Why he was in the contendership match, you can certainly, I wouldn't even call it splitting hairs. You can certainly say, why is that guy in the contendership match? But it's better than him just getting the match, which is what they do all the time anyway. So, yeah, this was mostly an empty segment. This did not feel like a go home to spring break-in. It's weird to have a go home to a thing that's also on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
At the end of this thing, it was them face to face. Carmelo Hayes holding up his title belt and Grayson Waller holding up a shoe. And it was, I think, unintentionally the funniest thing on the entire show tonight.
Oh, it was amazing.
Apparently this didn't air, but Carmelo Hayes and Trick tossed him out of the ring and got a hold of his phone and hijacked the Instagram live that was going on. That probably should have been on TV because it would have been entertaining, which this segment was not.
No, they'll run that as like a social media exclusive, right?
Yeah.
So
it's really frustrating because I think Carmelo Hayes is great and I've been really looking forward to him being the champion of the entire brand. And the first thing you have him do is feud with Grayson Waller, who fucking loses every goddamn thing. Like, it's just, it was.
They went so far out of the way to be like, the match with Gargano was unsanctioned, and it's like, but you won the Iron Survivor match and nothing else. Like
you just have. There's got to be a important undercard, mid-card match under the top billing of the thing where Carmelo becomes champion, where at the end of the night Carmelo beats Braun Breaker, and we can think, because we just watched it an hour ago, oh, they're setting up that guy who won that other important match to be the top contender.
Sure.
Again, like to Carmelo. Like that is such paint by numbers, obvious booking 101. It doesn't make sense that the dumbest people in the world don't use it. Like
it's funny too, because we were also just talking about they haven't done title for title, and Wesley doesn't really have a program, to your point. Like, just run Wesley and Carmelo back with title, and the titles don't have to be on the line, but you could just do like, I'm a champ, you're a champ. You made this the A title, I'm making it the A title. Like, there's so many different things you could have done here, but
right. Nope.
But to your point, yeah, if you want someone to feel like a credible opponent, just have them win some matches. I never, ever, ever, even when it happens, am I like, now the Red Sox are bad again, so it's fun. Like the 4th place at best Red Sox coming into town to beat the Yankees. I'm not like, oh, well, they're a viable threat because they said so.
Yep.
It's just not how it works.
Tom Lavallee says Von Beverly, Braun Steiner, Chuck Regal. No,
Chuck Regal makes me happy.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yes, Jam Beard says it's not Beej Prawn versus Horse Jerkin.
Horse Jerkin is spring breaking.
Oh my god.
Like, if UFC, Alex, if somebody loses a bunch of times, they don't get to go against champion. And if they did, they'd be like, hey, remember when you got your lights knocked out the past 4 fights you've been in? Yeah, I'm going to do this to you. And then that person probably would. It's just silly.
Yep. Tom LaValle has a little Serpentico is getting thrown. You get to pick who throws him. Jambeard says Lance Archer. Luis says Camonito. And
I mean, I feel like it should be Luther because they already do that. They already have that tandem offense where Luther throws Serpentico into people. But it should be Nyla Rose, I guess, because they got that feud.
Yeah. CO says instead of because Obafemi was a shot putter in college, and that's why he's throwing things. But I also feel like
he's throwing a couch.
He's throwing a couch, which is not a shot put. But anyway, CO says chucking things. Keith Lee chucking Isaiah Cassidy.
Sure, Adam Cole.
Jam Beard says have NXT be part of the draft and move Tozawa, Bobby Roode, and Dana Brooke back to NXT and give all 3 good runs to NXT. Bobby Roode's not coming back anytime soon.
No, he's very injured, unfortunately.
He's very, very injured. No, Dana Brooke needs to be on the main roster, and she needs to team with newly heel Emma because Madcap Moss is turning heel because nobody likes him. They've been teasing that for a month. Emma and Dana Brooke were a fantastic heel duo in NXT. They called up Emma and Dana Brooke together. Emma immediately got hurt, and Dana Brooke floundered because they had nothing for her to do. And they were like, how about your Charlotte's sidekick? And that didn't work. And
hey, you're blonde. Yeah.
And then they were like, let's repackage Emma to Emelina, and then let's release her when she doesn't want to do it anymore.
Not just repackage her. She had more vignettes than Veer.
That's true.
Of all the people that have had talk shows, Dana Brooke having a show called The Babbling Brook. Missed opportunity.
All right, let's get some puns.
All right.
Well, Jaden Fox says, can't watch live today, but have an epically awesome show.
Oh, thank you.
Does Alex do an impression of Doofenshmirtz from Phineas and Ferb? No, I don't. do an impression of Doofenshmirtz. I've never watched Phineas and Ferb. I don't really know which one that is.
Nor do I.
I'm a little older than the target audience for that. Meet Norma says, "What's up, partners?" I didn't watch NXT, but it seems like I didn't miss anything. We just skip the review on Tuesdays and play video games and be silly together. WWE makes me nuts too. Alex, also, hi, Kate.
Hi, Meet Normus.
Meet Norma says Shinsuke Nakamura. Jake Salazar says Shitake Nakamuto. Meet Norma says, who is Natalia's current tag partner? Meet Norma says
really
Eddie
good.
Kingston and Jeff Jarrett's tag name, D's Slapnuts.
You know how I feel. Don't you put like my favorite wrestler and my least favorite wrestler next to each other, though I respect the name.
Smickers says Cassius Pistachiono.
That's really good.
Jambeard says Wendy Cashew. That was actually from Bonkers LFC. Wendy
Where's
Cashew is good.
she? Where's
I don't
Wendy
know.
Chu?
She's
Nope,
hurt.
she's not. Is she?
Yeah, she's hurt. To Electric Mayhem says Willow Nuttingale. Sorry. Orion Ben says Mongongo McMichael.
That's good.
To Electric Mayhem says Stone Cold Steve
Very
Acorn.
good.
One Lieutenant Photo says Claudio Castapignoli. To Electric Mayhem says Sour Graps Nuts.
There it is.
Chris Perez says Almond Mine. Not Diamond Mine. Almond Mine.
Almond pie.
Henry T. Casey. Henry the
Almonds.
Casey.
Pressure makes almonds.
Henry the Casey says, "You can't see me." Do. Orion Ben 666 says, "Kate Elizabeth Butternut." J.B. Pringle says, "Johnny Garbanzo." I know it's not a nut.
It's
One
a
Lieutenant
legume.
Photo says, "Chestnuts roasting on an alba fire." Jambeard says, "Julie Chestnut." T Electric Mayhem says, "Legumo Kid."
Legumes are beans.
Zomla Valley says, "Willie Macadamia Nut." Ricardo says, "Impact World Champ Steve Macadamia."
That's pretty good.
Bag
I'll
'em,
take it.
stack 'em, mayhem for nuts. Ricardo says, "Cocoa Macadamia Nut."
That's very good.
And Jake Salazar says, "The Nutbusters." And Luis says, "The effing Nutbusters."
Guys, appropriate. Bluechew.com code Fightful.
Jambeard says, "Also wanted to say thank you for the fellow sour people who has wished me a happy day of birth.
Happy
May
birthday!
the sour live long in all of you."
Jambeard. Jambeard. Maybe Linda will sing happy birthday to you.
I don't know.
Or
Maybe.
the impression of your choice, maybe.
Okay, there we go. We got some jukeboxes here. Not too many. That's good. Apparently, GYV hit the Coriolis, and Mark Davis said that they owe him $500 on Venmo.
Wait, I don't get it.
Isn't the Coriolis the Aussie Open
Yes.
finisher?
So
Well,
you got to
GYV
pay someone $500 every time?
GYV did it, and so they were joking and said, now you got to Venmo me, I think.
Oh. Well, CM Punk owes Kenta a lot of money then.
Oh, it's true. Okay. This one for you. Force of Will says, in honor of Noam still kissing his hand before matches, can we get Tiffany singing Hendry Wall?
Of course you can.
Power Pistachio House Hobbs.
Today was gonna be the day that I would see Saber J, but now there's something Noam does that bothers me. I don't believe anybody feels the way he does about his hands. Put his hand behind his back, hiding because he sees his hand is too exciting. There are still so many things I would like to do, but maybe there's no time. Because maybe Joe Hendry's going to be the one that saves me. And after all, this is a Joe Hendry wall. Toodles. Sorry, I can't read.
It's okay.
We
It's
made
all
it,
right.
folks.
Mm.
We made it, fam. Not my best work.
Ricardo wants Megadeth "Play for Blood," sung by Nathan Frazier. Anybody searching for action? Anything to fill the emptiness inside? Any place that the streets are empty? Any takers want to pour out their lives? With fire and lightning shooting from my hand and desolation written across me eyes? My itchy finger on hairpin trigger. Me temper's hot and me patience taking flight. Inside the abattoir, the cover charge is somebody's got to die. Now I hear you screaming out for mercy. Last man that's standing wins the fight. Too late, I see your end. Zero in on you. Even mortal enemies, they can't die. Let me help you up again. The wings of God surround me. I live to play because I know I'll never die. I don't play for keeps. I play for blood. And Bob's your uncle.
That should be the name of the show.
Okay. Tiffany Stratton singing the Jet song from WSS from West Side Story.
I'll pretend that I need to open up the lyrics.
Uh-huh.
Did we reference this last night or last
I think we
week?
did. Yes, we did.
Alex, the days all run together.
That's true. They do.
When you're a jet all the way. From your first cigarette to your last dying day. When you're a jet, let them do what they can. You got brothers around. You're a family man. You're never alone. You're never disconnected. You're home with your own. When company is expected, you're well protected. Then you are set with a capital J, which means you'll never forget till they cart you away. When you're a jet, you stay a jet. Toodles. Thank you.
Little news. Apparently, Wendy Chu's back. She was taped for Level Up tonight, so she's not injured anymore.
Put her on my TV.
That's true. Jam Beard says we need the return of heavy metal Walter to sing "That's My Jam" by Skindred. Every time that I get around you, something happens, takes a hold of my soul, staring me up until I can't get enough. When you move, it makes my sweat turn cold. Because you're a freak for the rhythm, slave to the dance. And now I've got you in the palm of my hand. Get all dramatic, erratic. Your moves are automatic. You're a freak for the rhythm, slave to the dance. That's my jam. That's good. That's easy. Thank you. Do love Walter. A very accurate Walter impression.
Extremely accurate. Uncanny.
Okay, there we go. Hold on. Let's do this one. We got a couple of Darbies in here, so we'll break them up a little bit, I think.
I saw one of them and it popped me tremendously.
The T Left Mayhem wants Darby Allin singing "You Make My Dreams Come True" by Hall & Oates. What I want, you've got it, and it might be hard to handle, but like a flame that burns the candle feeds the flame. Yeah, what I've got. Full stock of thoughts and dreams that scatter, and you put them all together. And how, I can't explain. Oh yeah, well, you, you make my dreams come true, Malachi Black. You, well, you, oh yeah. You make my dreams come true. On a night when bad dreams become a screamer, Brody King. When they're messing with a dreamer, I can laugh into the face, twist and shout my way out, and wrap yourself around me, because I ain't the way you found me, and I'll never be the same. Oh yeah, well, because you, you make my dreams come true. Malachi Black. Right,
Darby might have overtaken Nathan Fraser for me.
Tiffany Stratton to sing Joe Hendry's version of Wrecking Ball.
Didn't I? I think I did this one. I'll do it again.
Possible. You never know.
I gotta find it.
Excuse me.
Man, you got it so wrong, Alex. You should just be good at one impression.
Yeah, I know it's true.
No drugs and no alcohol. Does taxes and donates to charity. Is he first class? He has a degree in business. Competes for his country. Don't you ever say, I don't want Joe Hendry. I will always want you. I made my entrance in the Hendry Ball. I sincerely hope I don't fall. I won't do drugs and alcohol. It's the local hero, Joe Hendry. Toodles. Joe Hendry rules.
All right.
I do believe in Joe Hendry.
Axiom singing the old Mentos theme song from Tom LaValle.
Doesn't matter what comes, first goes better in noise. We've got to set the soul of noise. As it gets to you, staying so stay cool. We've got to set the soul of noise. First goes better than toast Christmas. First goes better with the soul of noise. Mentos, the fresh freaker.
That's a really good one. I think everyone should have to sing that.
I like it because it's from the same era that my sweater is.
It's true.
A sweater that looks like a water cup.
Jambeard wants Tiffany to sing My World just because it's a classic. Why is everyone so mean to me?
I typed, why is everyone so mean to me? Because everybody makes me sing Jeff Jarrett as Tiffany Stratton. I'm not a huge fan of the Jeff Jarrett.
I know.
The earth is not your place. The pale skin on your face. If you step inside with me, you will see a king. He ain't dead. He is Jeff. Don't want to hear your big mouth talk. In my world, time to leave my mark. In my world, now in the cold and the dark. In my world, time to leave my mark. In my world, now in the cold and the dark. I get high, low pain. Welcome to the Who's Insane. Hold your lies and accusations. Don't mind your situations. I just had a Tiffany epiphany in my world. Time to leave my mark. Toodles.
Very good. Very good.
It's called being a professional, okay? I didn't want to do the job, but I did it.
I know. Jake Salazar wants Linda to sing The Duel of the Fates by John Williams, which I thought was an instrumental, but apparently has lyrics.
I love you guys so much. We're talking to mops and singing songs.
Oh, okay. Now I get it. Those aren't really lyrics, but okay. Kora, Mata Kora, Ratama, Kora, Ratama, Yuda, Kora, Siado, Ratama, Diana, Kora, Ratma, Kora, Dianama, Kora, Tananama, Yadama. That reminds me of my bar mitzvah when I had to do all the chantings. It's very similar. Is this not Hebrew? It's been a long time since I've read anything in Hebrew.
It has been. I remember this reading. It sounded like the reading from your wedding with your third husband.
Yeah, it does. Kora, Mata Kora, Ratama, Kora, Dianha, Kora, Ratama, Neoha, Kila, Kora, Ratama.
Toodles.
Okay. So Cam threw in 2. Wants Miro doing Gorgor by Guar, and then has one for you as well to sing. As we'll do that. There we go. Okay. It's been a long time since I've done a Miro because it's been a long time since we've seen Miro.
I know. Don't remind me.
Miro. Miro comes and sirens wail, mournful drone of babbling fail, thunderous gnashing firestorm,
Flames illuminate his form. Gorgo comes and you must die. Swats F-16s from the sky. Miro, admit you crave the gift he brings you. Fall and worship tyrant king you. Miro, 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 Miro. So pestilential hate is still obliterate the shadows of your long dead brothers and all the mutilated others who died in waves, uniform to appease your bloody hulking form, which broke through layers of molten strata to make the planet Earth errata.
You won't say toodles like Miro.
No. Tootles.
Tiffany Stratton performing Three Little Pigs by Green Jelly.
Why don't you sit right back and I may tell you a tale of 3 little pigs and a big bad wolf. Well, the first little piggy, he was kind of hip. He spent most of his days just a dreaming of the city. And one day he bought a guitar. He moved to Hollywood to become a star. But living on the farm, he knew nothing of the city. Built his house out of straw? What a pity. And then one day, jamming on some chords, along came the wolf knocking at his door. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Little pig, let me in. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Well, I'm huffing and puffing and I'll blow your house in. Huffing and puffing, blow your house in. Huffing and puffing, blow your house in. Huffing and puffing, blow your house in. Toodles.
Jambeard wants Darby to sing Tom's Diner by Suzanne Vega.
I am sitting in the morning at the diner on the corner. I am waiting at the counter for the man to pour the coffee, and he fills it only halfway. Before I even argue, he is looking out the window at somebody coming in. It is always nice to see you, says the man behind the counter. To the woman who has come in, she is shaking her umbrella, and I look the other way as they are kissing their hellos, and I'm pretending not to see them, and then still I pour the milk. I open up the paper. There's the story of a Malachi Black who had died while he was drinking. It was no one I had heard of. And I'm turned to the horoscope and looking for the funnies when I'm feeling someone watching me, and so I raise my head. It There's a woman on the outside. Looking inside, does she see me? No, she does not really see me because she sees her own reflection. And I'm trying not to notice that she's hitching up her skirt. And while she's straightening her stockings, her hair has gotten wet. It is you, Malachi Black. I
really wish Sean didn't run it at that moment.
All right, finally, from Ricardo, Tony D and Tiffany Stratton doing a duet of Journey's Separate Ways.
Luis really likes
this song. Now, this is not a duet.
It is not.
But
this is a way better Journey song than Don't Stop Believing.
Hold on a second. That's debatable. It is broken very nicely into stanzas. So I'll do a stanza, and then you can do a stanza, and then I guess we'll try and break up the chorus in some way. How about I'll do a line, and then you can do a line of the chorus. Yes.
If you're doing a stanza as Tony D'Angelo, are you doing a Tony stanza?
I'm doing a Tony stanza. Yes.
I got jokes.
Okay, here we go.
Here we stand, hot worlds apart, heartbroken in two. Sleepless nights, losing ground. I'm reaching for you. You.
Feeling that it's gone. Can't change your mind. If we can't go now, to survive the tide, love divides.
Someday, love will find you.
Break those chains that bind you.
One night will remind you.
How we touched and went our separate ways.
If he ever hurts you,
True love won't desert you.
you know I still love you.
Though we touched and went our separate ways.
Troubled times, caught between confusion and pain, pain. Distant eyes, promises we made were in vain. In vain.
If you must go, I wish you luck. You'll never walk alone. Take care, my love. Miss you, love. Toodles.
Someday love will find you.
Break those chains that bind you.
I don't know why my Tony D's become Jerry Lewis. This doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work anymore. But yeah.
Break those chains that bind you.
One night will remind you.
How we touched and went our separate ways.
Yeah, if he ever hurts you.
True love won't desert you.
Oh, you know I still love you.
Though we touched and went our separate ways. Toodles.
There you go. And that's it. That's everything. We had 45 nut puns.
Most of them appropriate.
We coined horse jerkin versus beach biz or beach estate. Yeah.
It's been a journey.
Yeah. That's enough. I think we're done.
Separate Ways is better than Don't Stop Believing.
They're both excellent songs.
Separate Ways kicks Don't Stop Believing's ass.
They're both excellent songs. All right. Good night, everybody.
Toodles.
Keep cool, gabagools.